Oh boy. There's
They turned up.
There's a little bit of a disparity there. Mums and dads, of course, of Atlanta Academy still in the crowd.
Sugar Dad's out there somewhere.
He is.
Not sure on their exact location right now.
Unable to locate currently. It's very hard to look down right now because of the. It's kind of dark. It's kind of bright up here, you know. There's a couple of Atlanta Reign players here of two, of course. We've got FRD joining in on the action, as well as Dogman sitting in the crowd. So it's nice to have them coming along to cheer their academy team on. Same old comps, it looks like, both rolling out with, or I say that, Stalker's actually on the Sombra.
Glister and Sugar Free going to be a battle of two prodigies here, Jaws. Who's going to be able to have the better Doomfist, who's going to be able to catch up the other one, get a feel for the tempo and get those counter punches, which are often so easy to try and help create those disparities.
That was a big ult, big rock, and big slam coming through from Gen.G. Atlanta Academy, though, that all goes towards some ult charge. Only Astro is 20% ahead right now on Bliss in terms of ult charge. Sugar Free uses that seismic slam to get back to the point as it does unlock. He gets rocked again, but his cooldown to R up, so he should be more than safe. See, playing a little bit more passive there. Got to be scared though, of course. You can get hacked rather easily, although Sugar Free is just going to dash on forward. Not as much frontward momentum as you don't have the Reaper. Gen.G are going to lose one member and lose control of the point, so they're just going to go again. They're just going to retreat real fast.
Really good play there from Hawk to use his primary barrier, Jaws, to try and make sure that Stalker cannot be channeling those hacks. The first hack he went for was actually onto Funny Astro, who's done so much damage. Look at how much ultimate charge he has. He has more than either of his DPS from the healing and the damage that he's been doing. We talk about how mechanically skilled on Lucio he is, and he may be the one to make the difference in his roster versus roster clash. Ready to try and deal with Wu Yo's Gravitic Flux. They've come up at the same time. Gonna see if Atlanta Academy can have Funny Astro pressured out when he's ready.
Yeah, he's hiding with the beat in the sidelines. Does he want to use it now? Oh! No, he can't use it at all because Glister pounds him into a wall. He's gonna jump onto the point as well. Gator's going to use that supercharger to try and stem the flow of damage by making Gen.G scared, but Sugar Free makes sure he checks Glister. There's the EMP that we were talking about. Stalker jumps straight onto the point, does go down, but that does mean Gen.G can now move forward. Supercharger coming out from Oberon as well. Gator's one does fade away. Creative doing a fair bit of damage as well as Huyan and obviously the rest of the team. Just only a matter of time now before they clear out Funny Astro. Does get a little bit of extra ult charge. You jump on in and a little bit extra percent for Atlanta Academy. 65 now on the board. Gen.G got some ults to build up. Stalker now changing over from the Somber. Decided, you know, one ult's enough. Yeah,
Stalker having used that EMP, Jaws has moved over onto the Reaper. I'll have to see if this will be a better choice to try and control Atlanta Academy as they try and engage. It doesn't mean you can get a lot of different kind of angles, trying to make sure the tanks are looking in different directions, and Sugar Free needs to be careful here. He's taking so much preliminary damage. They forced disengagement from Glister, so he got space to move forward.
Hawk has a flux as well. You've got to be careful. Bliss is going to have to hide out for the time being. Don't want to get one shot like Astro did. BT Strike came in. Bliss is actually going to use the beat there. We go. Hawk does manage to fill off Oberon though, which is going to be the big of an issue for Gen.G for this next preceding couple of seconds. Kodak and Creative use their coalescences. Blister is going to end up falling. Atlanta Academy, it's a slow, grueling fight as always. Bliss managed to get that beat off, man, but if it was a fraction of a second earlier, Oberon might have been saved and they could have turned that one around.
Thing is, Blizz got the beat off, Jules, but Atlanta Academy, they scrolled through 3 separate DPS ultimates. They used the Gravitic Flux, they used the Meteor Strike, and they used themselves a Death Blossom as well. They invested so heavily in winning that fight. Wuyon's going to be the main ultimate available right now. The only tick currently available can try and outplay Funny Astro here. He's got a narrow window before Astro has that available, but no, it's been closed now. Funny Astro just needs to not get picked.
Gravitic Flux coming in. Oh, Huyon gets actually blocked out of the air. Completely cancelled. No one is injured. Funny Astro still used the beat though, so they get the benefit of the shield. So now Atlanta Academy going towards OT. Gen.G have to touch. They trigger overtime, and Glister finds the initial pick. Kodak ends up falling down as Creative is so close to that coalescence, which could be the fight winner. Stalker does end up falling, but Glister still making his presence known in the front line. Saucy ends up trading with Creative, but basically cancels the coalescence. And now Saucy can just play around Oberon without fear of that healing coming through and saving him at the end. The beat from Bliss is good though, and keeps the tanks in for just a brief moment. Oberon ends up going down, and Sugar Free gets back onto the point just in time to try and deal with Glister. Sugar Free in the 1v1. There was a coalescence that is back, and manages to take it as Atlanta Academy secure ruins.
Sugar Free there making the most of the space that Saucy made. Saucy, he forced out a lot of abilities, forced out the kinetic grasp, forced out the usage of the Doomfist Punch to try and cancel his ultimate, and that gives Sugar Free that attention onto him. Everyone's looking at that spinning around Reaper. That means no one's looking at Sugar Free. Come in from the back, get an early pick. That's exactly what you're going to need to try and finish out that fight. Gonna head now onto Lighthouse. A lot of room here for these Achilios to play aggressively. They can try and get the boops off the edge just as on well. To see if there will be that Sombra rollout again, if we're going to see any other heroes run away. Dominated this particular area with Widow and Farah. Both of our teams seem keen to remain with the Doomfist. Zorc is actually going to give his team a bit of an advantage by teleporting them more forward, so they will have a premium on their positioning here, Jaws, so maybe able to set up in a more advantageous area, create that longer space behind them to have to travel if they get punched by the Doomfist to avoid the burst damage.
That was a perfect group there onto Glister, actually seismic slamming in. Didn't end up connecting with anybody, kept this high in the sky for about 20 years. Big boost as well coming through from Sugar Free. Everybody's getting knocked up in the air. He's in a little bit of trouble,
my dude.
Oh my goodness, he survived somehow. Kodak and Astro granted a lot of ult charge for that though, keeping him alive for so long. Still this kind of cluster of 12 people just run into each other, and finally someone goes down. Sugar Free fell victim. Glister tries to make himself known in the back line. Coalescence available from Creative as well. Gator and Stalker end up trading also. Doomfist will be able to come back in rather quickly. Sugar Free back into the fray. And has built up himself an ultimate as well in the meantime. Point does unlock, and Gen.G will end up capping.
Oh, he will. They now have control, Jaws. And I love how Gen.G is sort of rotating the duty of checking Sugar Free between Wu Yarl and Bliss. If Wu Yarl doesn't have the accretion ready to go, Bliss kind of stays a little bit up high so he doesn't get hit by the seismic slam, but can boop Sugar Free further into his team so that he's more likely to be taken out by Stalker. And now, Glister, he and Sugar Free just going to exchange a couple of hellos. For now, the tension is thick between these two. Atlanta Academy needs to try and figure out how they're going to make their incision here into Gen.G, who have so many ultimates available. They've already put down the Supercharger.
Yeah, Sugar Free is going to want to go in, use that Meteor Strike. Is he going to destroy the Supercharger with it? That is the question. Looks like he wants to go for Gator currently, but Gator is going to fall down rather quickly. Got to be a little bit more careful than that, it seems. Gen.G now still in control. A little bit of a stagger there, but Glister's going to be able to get out. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. Atlanta Academy have a lot of ults coming online for this preceding fight. It's going to be up to Bliss here. Make sure he doesn't die, as Hawk does have that flux as well.
Atlanta Academy, though, likely, even if they win this fight, won't be able to cap till about 80% on the clock, Jaws. They need to make sure they have the ults to hold down a long defense. They can't overinvest in a single fight right here. They just try and play the long game for the ultimate economy.
A sneaky teleport across, and Saucy two taps Glister in the back of the head. Beat's going to come through as well from Atlanta Academy as they layer the Coalescence on top of it as well. They need to move towards the point, though. They do need pressure on it at least. 2 members dead now for Gen.G. Make that 3 as Stalker goes down as well. Funny Astro is traded, but no worries for Atlanta Academy as they do end up capping. And didn't even use that many ultimates in that fight as well. Only 2 support ults, and they got tank ults to spare for the next.
Their sustainability is gone though, Jaws. This means they may have to strike quickly and very precisely onto Gen.G as they move into their territory. Try and get an early flux right here. Don't go for those long gains because Gen.G is going to always out-sustain you. They have a Sand Barrier, they have a Coalescence, and they can try and use their Coalescence to destroy Gator Supercharger. He needs physical cover for it.
Speaking of Coalescence, this is exactly what Creative's going to use. Gator is going to pop down the Supercharger, but Hawk, what? I will call that a 1v1, almost. So he sends Huyal into the sky. Beast's going to come through from Bliss, however, a little bit too late once again. Stalker's got the ult too, but there's no way he's going to use it here. Gen.G don't really have a front line to play with, or not one they can push with anyway, as Oberon has to keep replacing the shield.
Happy to have used both of the tank ultimates of Atlanta Academy moving on forward. Now, question is Stalker going to go for a Death Blossom onto Kodak when he pops a Coalescence? He won't be able to escape away.
Big ult Stalker in the back as well with his ultimate. Got a lock at Saucy though. He's right in the back of Gen.G. 3 kills. Make that 4 for the Reaper. Oh my goodness, Stalker finally cleans him up, but it's a little bit too late. Atlanta Academy now looking towards 70% on the board. Gen.G need to be able to win this next fight in order to stand and like even to stand up to the next available ult bank. If Atlanta Academy get ult online here, it's all over for Gen.G.
Yeah, if they need to stay in this map, Jaws, Gen.G right now, they used their Meteor Strike in the previous fight just to get out. Glister doesn't have that available, and Wu Yarl has his own accretion cancelled.
Yeah.
And speaking of cancels,
guess it's all cancelled. Did a little bit of damage, but it's not going to be enough. Creative used that Coalescence in order to push them towards the point. Manages to find the kill on Funny Astro. This was the fight that they needed, but it was an expensive one. Huyal might have his ult for the next fight. Atlanta Academy, they get team wiped. They will get the point flip. However, 95% still danger zone for Gen.G.
Looking to one final fight here to decide Lighthouse, potentially decide the map if Atlanta Academy can be the ones to claim this particular fight. Both of their support ultimates will be available. Sustain for them will be essential. Gonna need to burst through that if you're Gen.G. Glister looking for an early pick onto Funny Astro would be the ideal, but he's staying up high. Doesn't want to be on the same vertical plane.
Stalker wants to two-tap somebody straight on that Moira. She's a little bit too quick though, as Funny Astro was able to escort her towards the point. Glister and Sugar Free end up trading. It's an even trade so far. Both beats come out as well. Seizing the resistance is Gen.G, but it doesn't matter because Saucy's right in on the back again. Bliss and Stalker go down. Atlanta Academy find the flip, and Gen.G are going to have to come back. Creative used the Fade to get on. Manages to trigger OT, but it should be too late. Glister pops up in the air with his ult, completely denied of the damage. The ball comes in for some additional stall, but I think this should be it, unless, of course, a Miracle Boot comes out. But Funny Astro is, of course, on Atlanta Academy, so probably not. Stalker also ends up going down, and that should be it. Atlanta Academy going to claim Lighthouse and claim the first map.
And Jaws, that was a tactical ruse at the end there. We saw that Funny Astro answered the Gravitic Flux with his sound barrier, and then Bliss thought, okay, they don't have a Gravitic Flux, I can use my own sound barrier to counter. And sure, you may win out that particular fight, or that particular moment, because you have the better shielding and a lot of theirs gets taken away by the Gravitic Flux, but then you don't have anything to answer Saucy with the Death Blossom. They baited Bliss into using that, thinking that that was a significant advantage. Was not much of an advantage, unfortunately, because Saucy was waiting in the wings. Big macro team play there from Atlanta Academy, figuring out their win conditions and making the most of them.
Spoke about before how Gen.G do struggle in these playoff scenarios. Will history repeat itself? Of course, they aren't facing Element Mystic, but the same problems can arise. Thinking a little bit about the coaching staff as well coming through from Gen.G, they have had help from Seoul Dynasty's MMA, former famous StarCraft 2 player. So hopefully trying to reset the mental is what is in order here.
Captain Dunsey has, of course, come into the booth, giving his boys a little pep talk, figuring out how they're going to try and adjust to Atlanta Reign's play style in our next map.
Let's see what that is. We're going to go to a quick break, guys. Do not go anywhere. Atlanta Academy versus Gen.G. Welcome back, Atlanta Academy playing up against Gen.G. 1-0 in the series right now. Achilios was Atlanta's map. We'll see where Gen.G want to take us for this next one.
And Jaws, it's all about the man we're panning to right now, Saucy. He is the secret source right now. He is doing 13.2k damage per 10 minutes on the Reaper. On the other side, Stalker, he is only doing 8.3k. That's 5k more damage per second coming out of Saucy right now. He's getting the angles, he's doing the damage, he's building those ultimates, and he's getting more value from them. That's really where we currently see our two teams divulge in terms of the statistical value of these players in this meta.
Stalker out though. Wicked is coming in. We'll see how they want to attack this one. Of course, we'll find out what map it is in just a moment. And his last hopes and dreams of staying in the Gauntlet are still alive. Of course, I did bump into Atlanta Academy players in the hallway, as I always do. Just rubbing shoulders, you know how it is. Just checking, shoulder checking.
Just get some clout, you know.
And they were like, well, it's going to be easy. And of course they'd say that, because they've had a fairly easy run in North America, but we are on an international stage. The best of the best compete. Icavolt is going to be the map of choice for Hybrid.
That means I'm excited, Jules. I want to see a Farah duel between Sugar Free and Wicked right here. Wicked, legendary projectile DPS player, played it for the inaugural season of Overwatch League for the Seoul Dynasty.
They did. Now, how much has that mental been reset as well? Like I mentioned before, and speaking of Seoul Dynasty, MMA has been helping them just a little bit. They're in a playoff position once more. You can't have those haunting dreams fight back. You've got to stop. You just got to stop losing in playoffs, man. Icavolt's going to be the map though. Let's see some Wicked Farah. Let's get into it. All right, Atlanta Academy, surprise, surprise, Harry, are going to go for Farah Bastion on the defense. It's one of my favorite comps, I think, coming into this meta. Has been the Farah Bastion. It's kind of like 4 teams are fighting, and 2 of them are on one side, funnily enough. It's just the Farah duel and then the Bastion duel, of course, and just being able to rotate the cooldowns on Baptiste, which is something we criticised Funny Astro on a little bit earlier on. So I want to see how much is improved and how much has changed by
it's interesting that they have Kodak on the Mercy instead of Funny Astro, who I think is a pretty good Mercy actually, and we talked about Funny Astro not being potentially the best here at this Baptiste. Maybe it would have been better to put Kodak on that hero, but evidently this is what they scrimmed, this is what they're used to, and Funny Astro is going to have to be on with all the calling structure here to figure out how these movements will happen. Gen.G have actually got Wicked on the May right now.
Oh, what?
That'll do for a rock. This could fall apart right now, Jaws.
Are you serious? A Holt, a rock, and an icicle instantly killing off Kodak. He's going to take a little bit of time to come back. Of course, Saucy can try and escort him. Glister does end up going down as well, so actually this doesn't matter in the end. Kodak's going to be able to get back a lot quicker.
Yeah, Sugarfree will just be able to fly over the top, get the Guardian Angel working. His Glister will slowly plod back over on his little Bastion feet, and Gen.G here, they're going to have to look for Omeywall to push Saucy up out of that shield and then leave him exposed to the fire of Glister. It's going to be about how Hawk and Funny Astro can support Saucy once he's isolated by that particular May ability.
Look at Sugarfree's ult charge already though, 85%. Not too bad at all, and Oberon ends up going down. Disastrous start for Gen.G, and now Sugarfree can basically do whatever he wants.
Bliss is well ahead in terms of the amplification matrix for Jaws. That's going to be a huge potential offensive tool. And one thing that these Korean teams are doing a lot is that they're not actually shielding their Bastion, but just putting down an immortality field next to him so that he just takes basically infinite damage. You can get infinite healing to just charge up your amplification matrix, because he just builds so quickly. Then you have a significant advantage in that ultimate over your counterpart, and you can out-damage him in that preceding fight. Sugarfree, though, he can try and drop down on from Jaws, get the barrage. It's all about secrecy for Sugarfree. He needs to have Gen.G lose track of him so he can jump down on him and get that instant pick.
Sugarfree already taken out Creative, though. Another fantastic start for Atlanta Academy. Sugarfree really just been popping off just throughout North American Contenders, of course. Definitely a prodigy in the making. It would be nice to obviously see him and Owl at some point, of course. He's a little bit far away from that age just yet, so...
He's an Owl pre-K right now.
Yep.
Gen.G just can't get a clean engagement mode. Jaws Creative still on the back, and somehow they decide to engage with the amplification matrix. Okay.
Oberon's very low, he has to back off. They've already used the Immortality field as well. Look how many ults that Atlanta Academy do have. Sugarfree still trying to set up for this barrage. He drops in low, instantly killing all 3. Oh, that'll be the team fight over. That's a 3K. Atlanta Academy only losing 1 there as well. I mean, you're going to be able to get back also. Oh, you don't need to get back now. Okay, you just go for the res. Fine.
Wakid could also be in trouble right here. Sugarfree's going to rain down those rockets, start building up towards the next barrage. This defense, Jaws, it looks inassailable right now. Sugarfree combining with Saucy, they've got all the different angles, and Gen.G, they can't tag Sugarfree. They're running out of time. They've lost about 3/4 of their time bank. They haven't even touched the point yet. They spent too long setting up for a plan that's not working.
Getting separated too, they're not careful. Oh, Sugarfree actually gets slept. They're going to rotate on him as well. They've got to be so careful. I'm not sure if they knew where they actually slept him. You saw that Hulk come out. Potentially they thought he was around that corner.
Big rotate towards the back right now. They're going to be able to fight in the Hunter's Lodge, but Atlanta Academy don't want any of that. They just have an early bit of an engagement here. I think that may have been a slightly preemptive use of the amplification matrix. They can just decide not to take this engagement.
Yeah, but they nano creative, I think, to save him. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, the preceding events, and now they're going to use that supercharge. You're like, this is stalling out to a new level. Bliss is going to go down as well. Amp Matrix plus obviously damage boost from the Mercy, just way too much damage.
They don't have time for this, Jaws. Look at the time bank. There's only 20 seconds left and they're still falling down. Gen.G are falling apart.
Are they going to be able to touch this point? I don't even think so at this point. Bliss is going to be able to come back, but he's going to be cut off. Wiki does have Blizzard, yes, and Glisser may have tank form, but look, now Saucy's just using his tank form to force him back. Glisser's back on to the Doom Fist. Needs to get to the point ASAP. Gen.G have not touched. They're finally getting time, but it might be too late. Sugarfree used the barrage as Funny Astro actually gets punched up, so this is actually winnable now. Blizzard gets out as well. Saucy's trapped in the sidelines. Glisser ends up finishing him off as well, but he hasn't got many people left. I say that as Schröder ends up going down on the point. I thought this was going to be okay, but potentially not for Atlanta Academy, who are now struggling to touch. 2 ticks have been acquired by Gen.G, as Funny Astro also goes down. Both ultimates from the Sigmas coming out, but Vorp instantly falling. Gen.G on a miracle push on point A, finally capped.
The crowd is roused, Jaws. Gen.G aren't out of this quite yet, but where did the time go? 4 minutes were spent basically trying to get one fight to work, but every time Sugarfree was on top of them. Atlanta Academy aren't going to stop off this competition. They see no reason to. Gen.G seem flummoxed of how to deal with it. They've put Glister once again off of the Doom Fist. The clutch factor that really did claim them at first point, because this is the strategy they're trying to work with. Atlanta Academy is going to have a defensive position, and that's going to be so advantageous. So they have this high ground. They can pick and choose when the engagements are available. Meanwhile, Gen.G got to make up for lost time, got to be on the cart, and you can see once again they're not using the shield to make sure Bliss can farm up that ultimate.
Semi-creative as well. Oh, that's a good shot. Wiki on the sidelines does manage to kill off Sugarfree. The res is going to come out, but so is the window for Gen.G. They're still moving this payload, which is quite important. I don't want that moving back at any point. It'll just waste time, basically. Wiki is doing just that. You can see him just ducking, diving, dipping and dodging around the payload currently. He just spotted him out yet again. A nice double hit on the farm. It doesn't matter. A big boop as well. And the freeze from the back. Saucy is dead. Wakid can now sit there and just be a May and just annoy the backline. There's no thing that can stop him apart from a rocket. Okay. Sugarfree may eat my own words, but Atlanta Academy still have a lot of ults to defend this bridge. But Gen.G are going to get space.
They got space, Jaws, but do they have the ability to touch the carvel? Wait. Did he just fall onto the bottom?
Platform.
Okay, Funny Astro does survive. That means Atlanta Academy can go for a re-engage here across the bridge, potentially. Here comes
Sugarfree. Barrage, though. He wants it. He can see it in his sights, but the Immortality field needs to go down first. He spots it out, takes it out as well. Sugarfree, this is your time to attack, although maybe not just yet. Glister is going to use the ult, but it doesn't matter. Sugarfree gets a triple kill with the barrage, and it's as easy as that. Atlanta Academy are going to defend for now. Gen.G have 30 seconds remaining to push this payload towards second.
The Hulk was there as well, Jaws. Atlanta Academy, they operate as a hive mind. Gator as the shot caller. He's basically the supreme intelligence of Atlanta Academy. He leads them towards whatever victory may be. But now they're under-resourced for this next fight. They can build up ultimates rather quickly by shooting through the amplification matrix. But if Gen.G can force that out and out-rotate it so it isn't much use, then they'll have a good chance of winning this next fight. They can control the payload. They have the Blizzard ready to go, but Creative needs to survive his journey over there. This is a dangerous commute.
Yeah, someone needs to touch as well. Luckily, they got one person on it. It is Oberon. He's taking a whole lot of damage. He's going to go down first, but he managed to trigger overtime. Blizzard in the top side as well, and Source is in trouble, but not for long as they've got a permanent pocket from Kodak, but Glister's going to come up big with 2 kills using the window. And now we can just set up and basically let the team do what they want to move towards this payload. They're still going to have to be careful though with Saucy's on the side. On the back cam, no!
What in the world is this?
Glister end up going down! Saucy from behind using the window to make sure they can't touch. Gen.G are halted just before the bridge.
One flanking Bastion with an amplification matrix does deserve another. Saucy says, anything you can do, I can do better. And guess what? It's an overtime. So when I do it, I'm going to do it far better than you. A great defense there from Atlanta Academy, and they just drained so much of their time bank on first point. Sugar Freeze Farah consistently an issue for Gen.G. Gonna have to see if Gen.G can make that first point hold a reality. That's their best chance to do this. If not, could be going down to match point.
Look at this flank. Feels like a little bit there. Maybe Saucy's positioning was not called out. I mean, they kind of know as the window did go up, and of course they need to touch as well.
Like, they had to know where Saucy was because they just invested a solo Blizzard from Wiki to try and kill him.
I think it's a lose-lose situation, that fact, because you're not going to be able to dislodge him anyway. And what, you've got a Baptiste and a Bastion left. It's going to be hard to
Mercy
touch.
pocketing him.
Yeah, it's going to be basically impossible to touch at that point. And then he had window up as well. Felt like a lose-lose situation in hindsight, but you know, hindsight is 20/20 after all. Atlanta have such a clear win con now. Cap first point, 99 meters will do it. And there'll be match point in the series as well. This is feeling like a little bit of a speed run from Atlanta currently, if they do cap this in good time.
Well, at least for me, my dreams are coming true, Jaws. I'm getting the Pharaoh duel that I wanted to see. Funny Astro looking jovial, likely placed down that amplification matrix from quite far away. It was a bit of a snipe amplification matrix from the other side of the map, making sure that he could still be on that cart, stop it from moving forward. Wicked and Sugar Free will now be exchanging rockets in the air. The question is, will Saucy remain on this Reaper? Or does he think he can out-Bastion the defensive one? Glister will have a premium in positioning here, so potentially you don't want to take that fight. Gen.G sunk so many hours, it felt like, even though it was only minutes, to try and make that strategy work. Instead, it's all about getting that quick rotation. You don't need to try and set up. Just remove the high ground from Gen.G so they can't pick and choose for engagements as carefully as you otherwise would.
Remember what happened last time? It was Atlanta Academy who were up on the top side for just so long. Took them so long to rotate because Gen.G weren't just, they were just pushing onto the point time and time again. Listen, now having to back off, and Atlanta Academy now taking the high ground. That rock's going to be rather hard to deal with. I say that, it just hits the Arista, so it's not too much of an issue. Good pull onto the Hawk. He ends up going down. A Resurrection's going to come through. No interruption as well, so they're going to fight with 6v6 once again. I say that as Creative also ends up falling down. Atlanta Academy now moving on to the point. As soon as they put pressure on it, and as soon as they can just set up Sugar Free for success, they're going to be able to win. But with Wicked and with the help of Glister taking out Sugar Free, this should be it. Huyal takes out 2 as well. There's no ticks have been acquired by Atlanta.
Overon's gone down though. If they can have a quick fight here, a quick re-engage, Jaws, Gen.G may be lacking that main tank. No, he actually gets rezzed. Good job, Blizz. Or Blitz, rather. Bliss. Wow, that's a word that just can't come out of my mouth. Atlanta Academy, though. They got plenty of fire to spit. Sugar Free, throwing out the rockets for now. Wants to get up towards that barrage, but Wicked has a huge premium here, as well as Glister. These are 2 very dangerous ultimates. In Atlanta Academy, they don't really have a defensive ultimate that can deal with this. Kodak will be vulnerable to both of these ultimates while he channels his Coalescence, rather than that being the counter to these particular engagements.
Still taking a lot of pressure as Sugar Free. He's nowhere really near his ultimate as well. Gen.G have 2 DPS ults online, of course. They do make their rotation once more off of the high ground. However, that window's going to come out and do so much work. Hawk absorbing a lot of that damage, which is going to help, and Glister actually falls off the edge. Tank form is still available, but Oberon is not. And now, Atlanta Academy popping the wings. Funny Astro can now guide everybody forward. Mass healing or mass damage boost is going to be what they need to take out Glister. He's got the ult, but Sugar Free's got his position on lockdown. A nice rock sends him to the floor, but he's going to be okay. Justice Rain to revive from McKee, but he only manages to find Saucy. And now Sugar Free goes in for the 1v1. He doesn't try, he doesn't quite make it, as he's sub 20 HP as Funny Astro tried to get the res on Saucy. They still find a tick, and Gator now finding position as well. Atlanta Academy are going to put themselves on the payload and find the cap.
Wicked very needs to strike faster, George, during the chaos. That's when you lose track of the Farah. Already some members of Gen.G had fallen, so they had fewer things to keep in mind. And when you have fewer things to keep in mind, your ult tracker, Funny Astro, go, hey, did they have a barrage? I'm pretty sure that's going to come through soon. So he's easily checked there by Lancer Academy. Everyone manages to mitigate that potential incoming damage, and things just got a whole lot harder for Gen.G. Jaws. They're up against a 3.5-minute time bank. They had a fairly respectable point A defense, but you don't have to move that cart very far if you are at Lancer Academy. They won't have the Bastion on the payload though, so they can just try and play it around here.
Flux coming out from Hawk. The Gen.G are in Mentality Field. Wiki was not, and neither was Bliss. That's a double kill for Atlanta, and they still got ults to work with as well as they move this payload around this first corner. This was so tough for Gen.G to do so, of course. Saucy was up on the high ground for so long, and now Atlanta in such a prime position to take the map.
Creative won't be here for last fight. May have to move over to Lucio to actually get there. Will come back. He has been rezzed. This means Gen.G have one last fight here, Jaws. Otherwise, Atlanta Academy are going to go to match point.
Coalescence coming through from Kodak really, really early to push them forwards. The pressure is mounting now for Gen.G. Oberon's on the payload. He's got the immortality field for not for long. Hawk finds him with the rocket. Saucy set high in the sky as Wiki gets taken out. They have to touch. Sugar Free gets res too, and it's all onto Glister. He's in the tank form. He takes out Sugar Free as well. Gen.G are not out of this just yet. They refuse to die. Finally, Funny Astro finds the kill as the Battle Mercy comes through. Make that 2. Now the ball on the payload to stall for even longer.
They got to try and survive. Funny Astro's about to run out, and Valkyrie's going to lose the healing.
He's coming in with the barrage. He finds one. Gator goes down, but Funny Astro with 3 kills on the Mercy is coming up big. We may have criticised him earlier on, but he is showing up massive in this game. Atlanta Academy now moving on to this last point. They just need to kill this ball, but Funny Astro is finally dealt with.
Kennister gets caught mid-punch. He manages to not actually take out Saucy.
To do something, man. They need to kill Hawk's Saucy as well. He's doing so much damage in the front line, and it is mere meters away from being delivered. Oberon ends up going down as Bliss just desperately tries to heal everybody up. A desperation res to keep them in the game, but it's not enough. Atlanta Academy will find Eichenwald and match point in the series.
And Hawk was so clutch right there, getting the pile driver, taking out Glister midway through the channel of the punch. That was going to execute Saucy. If we don't have Saucy there, who kills Oberon? Who's going to get rid of those other tanks? It's not sustainable. It's a long, chaotic fight full of clutch plays, and like you said, 3 kills from Funny Astro on the Mercy. What more could you ask for from your combat support? The support or combat, as Doa would call it, he'd be incredibly proud. And Atlanta Academy right now, the sole remaining seed coming through from North America, doing their region proud, looking to knock out the first Korean team of potentially 3.
Feeling pretty fire right now. You saw Smiles obviously in the booth. Astro knew exactly what he did. Gen.G needs to be able to recover here. This pressure is definitely mounting.
Looks like we're having a change as well.
In the booth, yeah, potentially changing also. Have to wait and see, of course, after the small break. What a tense situation they are currently in. They could be, like you said, the first Korean team to be knocked out of Gauntlets.
Gen.G are faced with either a reverse sweep or elimination. You don't want to be the first one to lose a seed from your nation, especially with this many fans in the studio.
Match point for Atlanta Academy. We're going to go to a quick break, guys. Do not go anywhere. Map number 3 coming up soon.